As you can see, I'm still in the wilderness, and I'm really starting to feel at home here. The local squirrels even invited me to their Passover Seder. As the youngest, I sang the 4 questions. Well, it's day 28 of self-isolating, but at least we have the president to give us the boost we need.
I don't want to be negative. I'm a positive person. This is really easy to be negative about, but I want to give people hope too. You know, I'm a cheerleader for the country.
He is a cheerleader. He's even come up with his first cheer.
COVID, COVID.
Oh no, he's learning. That's how Dr. Fauci used to say it so Trump wouldn't know what he was talking about. This is Trump's version of raptors learning to open doors. During the last few weeks, the Trump administration has been working overtime, not to respond efficiently to the current pandemic. I mean, my God, Jared Kushner is now kind of in charge of our response. I have no idea why. Maybe the virus isn't as effective against prep school vampires? No. The Trump administration has been busy abusing their power and pulling some truly shady shit, while we've all been busy crafting masks out of our underwear. Man, I shouldn't have used my husband's thong. It's just too sexy. Last month, the EPA announced its drastically relaxing rules for polluters. Instead of fining companies that pollute, the EPA is asking them to just monitor themselves and act responsibly during the coronavirus crisis. Seriously? Telling a company to just act responsibly is about as effective as when Miller High Life puts great beer, great responsibility in their commercials. That's not a warning. That's something Spider-Man says when Mary Jane leaves him. Just days later, the Trump administration also announced it would roll back the nation's rules on auto pollution. These Obama-era rules were the country's most aggressive effort to combat climate change. Now our only effort to combat climate change is everyone collectively hoarding plastic bags under their kitchen sinks. The trick is to stuff the small plastic bags into the big plastic bags until they're so stressful to look at, you just give up and throw them directly into the ocean. Previously, the government set stringent goals that would make cars 5% more fuel efficient every year. Now it's just 1.5%, which is bad for the environment, but good for the new Prius Hummer. Finally, a car for all types of assholes. Worse, this plan is estimated to release an additional 1.5 billion tons of pollutants into the atmosphere over the next 20 years. That's already terrifying, but it's especially scary right now.
It is important for people to keep in mind that while we've got all of this around us and these numbers and the conversation about coronavirus, which, unlike the effects of climate, are not contagious between people, the effects of climate change will ultimately kill more people.
Oh, God. Now I gotta figure out how to hoard clean air. Luckily, I have an army of trees to help me. You'll help me, won't you, trees? I gotta get out of here. So Trump is trying to destroy the Earth. Big deal. Everyone knows the Earth is a loser planet, 6 at best. It doesn't even have a hot pair of boob moons like Mars. Phobos and Deimos, more like fun bags and double Demos. They're getting closer. And it's not just the environment the Trump administration is attempting to ruin.
The U.S. Department of Justice is reportedly seeking new emergency powers that would potentially ask chief judges to detain people indefinitely without trial during emergency situations. Yes, I just said that. The requests also propose that Congress grant Attorney General William Barr power to ask the chief judge of any district court to pause court proceedings in times of emergency.
No.
Detaining people indefinitely without a right to trial is a violation of basic civil liberties. Man, the Department of Justice for making me agree with Joe Scarborough about anything except his music. His music slaps.
In the flash of an hour, watching dreams fall from towers, all I once knew came tumbling down.
I walked down the aisle to that song. Meanwhile, there are more abuses of power happening at ICE, the least necessary government agency since the Bureau of Cassette Tapes and Laserdiscs. ICE decided that since everyone isn't terrified enough right now, they should keep doing raids while people are stuck at home.
The Los Angeles Times reports that ICE agents made arrests on the first night of California's coronavirus lockdowns. ICE said it would take precautions given the new reality, but the arrests would go on.
How is it essential to separate families during a health crisis? The only separation that desperately needs to be done right now is separating my hair from my body. I have been a mess since my waxing place closed, as you probably noticed by my appearance on last week's show. And that's just my vagina. It needs walks too. ICE is also using N95 face masks that are desperately needed by healthcare workers. ICE agents shouldn't be using respirator masks. They shouldn't be using surgical masks. They should only be using Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Somebody stop them!
Somebody stop them, please. Lives depend on it. Trump is also using the COVID-19 crisis as an excuse to turn away migrants and asylum seekers at the border. The U.S. now deports people to Mexico in an average of 96 minutes. Why 96 minutes? Because that's about how long it takes to make them watch Cats, so they never try to come back. Trump has sought this kind of restrictive policy for years. The courts have blocked it as unconstitutional, but the coronavirus overruled those courts, just like it overruled basketball courts and tennis courts. And it's not just Trump's monumental racism that's thriving, it's also his monument to racism. Construction on his border wall has sped up, with crews being paid extra to work through the night. It's the first time any workers on a Trump project have ever been paid. Except for the one time he butt Venmo'd Meatloaf $37 during Celebrity Apprentice. Meatloaf would do anything for $37, and he would do that. Trump claims the wall will help prevent the spread of the virus from Mexico into the U.S., which makes no sense. It's already here. Mexico has less than 1% of the infections that we have. Let's be honest, if the wall could prevent coronavirus, it would protect Mexico from us. And by speeding up construction, Trump might also be speeding up the virus's spread within the United States. At a time when social distancing is crucial, the wall project has workers commuting back and forth to border states from all over the country. Sometimes they even carpool together, which is a terrible idea, although it would probably make for a blockbuster James Corden special. Trump has also used the virus as an excuse to try to slash taxes, make the cuts to the federal interest rate that he already wanted to, and to advance anti-union efforts. Jesus Christ, that is the most work he's ever done. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but please, someone find a way to sneak him onto a golf course. Trump even took time out of his busy press conference schedule to tie up a major loose thread.
Not even a pandemic can stop Donald Trump's pattern of seeking retribution against those he considers enemies. He announced he's firing the inspector general who flagged the Ukraine whistleblower complaint that ultimately led to his impeachment.
He fired an inspector general during a plague. At this rate, the only ones left in the White House by June will be Trump, Ivanka, and a stuffed and mounted Jim Acosta. While we're all distracted by this pandemic, Trump is making decisions that affect the entire country. I don't even know where it's safe to put my bunker anymore. I mean, I guess I want to say outside of Ina Garten's house. Look, I wanted to take Jeffrey's place even before this happened. I know it's hard to think about anything other than our families, our friends, and what our tits will look like after months of not wearing a bra. To be honest, they were already pretty low. But unfortunately, we have to. What our government does right now will have a lasting impact on all of us, long after this pandemic is over. Am I right, trees? Oh my God, I'm so afraid of them. If I'm not here next week, it was these bastards.